Okay, gang, here we go. Welcome in. Carson Meredith with you here on this Easter night. Hope you had a blessed holiday with family and friends. Weather turned out okay today, didn't it? A little bit of a stormy start. If you're up in Indiana, unfortunately, you might have had some wet weather for some of those sunrise services earlier today. But all in all, things have calmed down for now. Enjoy that, I guess. It's going to get very busy here in a short amount of time. We still have those back-to-back alert days in place for tomorrow and Tuesday, and that is really what we're going to spend the bulk of our time talking about on this Easter night. So if you have any questions, you know the drill. Give them to me on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching us tonight, and we'll answer them as we go. If you're watching us on wave3.com on the Weather Now live stream, you can't see those Facebook comments. You'll have to go to Facebook or YouTube to see those, but you still get the idea. So lots to unpack here. And just like last night, we're just going to take our time going through all the details of this forecast because there is so much to unpack. Let me take you to Bardstown first on the SkyTrack camera. Look at that view. Isn't that nice? If you're down in central Kentucky today, you really didn't see much of any rain. In fact, you were totally dry all day. And we saw a good bit more sunshine than we expected, which is never a bad thing, right? So there's the radar view here at 7:33. And it was around this time that we were going to keep an eye on any little pop-up storms north of I-64. So let's rewind here a second, then I'll get to some of the comments. So last night, we had that front that just kind of stopped right along I-64, right? Well, that set off all those storms that we saw last night. I went home for maybe an hour or so, a couple of hours between my Saturday night shift and this morning. And goodness, it was a tropical downpour here at the station as I was heading out. That was around 1 o'clock in the morning. It's really rare to have those kind of just crazy downpours this time of year, but that was the reason why we had those storms last night, was this little front that was along I-64, and it has slowly, and I mean slowly, progressed its way to the north this afternoon and this evening. So there's kind of a rough view of where that warm front is now. It stretches from Bedford, Lawrence County, Indiana, through Salem, Henryville, Scottsburg, LaGrange, Shelbyville, Frankfort. That's where, in general, that warm front is now. And we were keeping an eye on any downpours that may try to develop along that front as it surges northward this evening. And we're just now seeing a couple of little blips on the map. Let's go to, where is this here? That is Scott County and Jackson County, Indiana. One little shower. That's all we're seeing right now. That's near Austin, near Crothersville, and Uniontown, too. And we'll still keep an eye on the radar for any of these showers that might intensify into some louder storms. Excuse me. We're not expecting a ton of severe storms tonight at all. In fact, I think by about 10 o'clock, we're done with the small storm chance that we have for the evening. Nonetheless, some of those storms, should they develop, and again, that's not a guarantee, they may have some heavy rain again, maybe some gusty winds, perhaps some hail. So we'll keep an eye on that through this evening. Shouldn't be a big deal. Obviously, we're not seeing much right now. Hopefully that trend continues. All right, let's get into the comments. I'm already 5 minutes into this, and I'm already behind on the comments. Here we go. Ashley, just got to know if I can rest easy tonight. Yes, you can, Ashley. Yes. Once we get past 10 o'clock tonight, our small storm chances for this evening are done. Everybody can rest easy tonight. Ralph is watching us in Nicholasville. Good evening, Ralph. Nancy's asking, will there be bad storms tonight? I'm not expecting much of any bad storms, Nancy. We just got to watch southern Indiana, let's say for another 2 hours as this warm front gets out of here, at least temporarily, because we might have a few pop-ups right along that front. And that's where we have that heavy downpour potential, maybe some gusty winds too. Just 1 or 2 storms, but we'll keep an eye on it. Leah, my answer is so bad right now because of the stuff for Tuesday. Terrified tornadoes. Yeah, I get it, Leah. I hear you. I was scared to death of them when I was a kid too. Adults, of course, have their worries about tornadoes. Totally understandable. So that's why we're here tonight. We're going to unpack everything so that you know what we can expect, how the next 2 days is going to play out. But we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. As long as you know what to do during severe weather, as long as you know what you can expect, we'll get through the next couple of days. No problems at all. It's our job to keep you at ease. Oh, Leah meant your anxiety, not your answer. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, everybody has it. Everybody struggles with it. DJ King says, good evening. Good evening. How you doing? Weather Geek on YouTube. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Michael's asking about a potential tornado watch on Tuesday. The NAM looks rough. Yeah, it does. Holy smokes. I don't have the NAM model in particular in our show tonight, but that's the North American model, if you've never heard of that phrase before. And it shows a pretty robust setup for Tuesday. We'll unpack that as the night goes on. Pam says, didn't rain in Springfield. No, it did not. It was a nice, warm, at times sunny day. I'll be honest with you. I expected us to be socked into the clouds today. And for the most part, we saw some clearing this afternoon. No complaints about that, right? Let's see. Rosalind, I got a spectacular view of the lightning at the Sauerbeck Drive-In last night. Yeah, those storms were electric, weren't they? If you watched us here on Wave Weather Now around 10 o'clock last night, hey, Shonda, hope you're having a good night in Jeffersonville. I was showing you some of those SkyTrack cameras, and gosh, the lightning was nonstop. It was wild. Let's see. There's Shonda saying hello. Martha, the sky really opened up and dumped a bunch of rain in Fir Creek. Yeah, some spots in the metro saw close to a half-inch of rain just last night. And I'm a little concerned about some flooding issues by Tuesday. We're going to see a lot of rain in the next 48 hours. So we'll have some flooding issues to talk about, and we'll go deeper into those as the evening progresses. All right, I'll get back to the comments in a minute, but focus for tonight, maybe a few downpours in southern Indiana. Not seeing much right now. We'll keep an eye on it. Best chance for any storms this evening is now through about 10, so a couple more hours. There you can see the warm front. It is lifting north for now. It's going to give us some issues tomorrow, in particular, as it moves back to the south. It's just wiggling and wobbling around the region over the last couple of days. And I'm a little worried. Well, I shouldn't say worried. I'm a little concerned about some of those storms along this warm front tomorrow afternoon. And we'll explain that as the evening goes on here. All right, here's the big picture, what you need to know before we get into the nitty gritty. All right. If you've ever noticed with our alert days, we have a yellow alert day and a red alert day. It's not meant to alarm you at all. It's just to gauge the potential impacts that severe weather or winter weather or whatever it might be will have on your life, okay? Yellow alert days, we use those more common. It just means it's kind of a pay attention kind of alert day. We have bumped up the next 2 days from a yellow alert day to a red alert day. Guys, you got to really, really pay attention the next couple of days. I'm not saying panic. I'm not one to hype. Just going to tell you the facts, all right? This is going to be a busy 2 days, and there will be the chance for some of us to see some significant severe storms. Is everybody going to see severe weather the next 2 days? No. But some of us will, and it could be significant depending on how it plays out. What we can say with confidence, we've been saying this all day, and by and large, it holds true this evening. There will be at least 2 rounds of strong to severe storms over the next couple of days. What is new tonight is we've got a more specific time frame for each round. All right. Round 1, Monday afternoon, 3 p.m. at the earliest, 11 p.m. at the latest. Okay. I will say for tomorrow in particular, the greatest threat is in southern Indiana, closer to that warm front I just showed you a second ago. So that's round 1. Around midnight tomorrow night, we'll get a break. Not much of one, but hey, we'll take what we can get, right? That's before a second round moves in Tuesday morning, as early as 3 a.m., as late as 9 a.m. 3 a.m., 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. And that particular round will be thanks to a cold front. So round 1, warm front. Round 2, cold front. Okay? This cold front gets closer. We'll see those lines of storms, some of which could be severe, that'll have that more widespread potential for damaging winds in particular. So with both rounds, doesn't matter which one or 2, all hazards are on the table. Damaging winds, tornadoes, hail, even flooding, like we talked about a second ago. There is a possibility that there could be a third round of storms Tuesday afternoon, right as the actual cold front itself sweeps through wave country. We are not confident enough to say that is absolutely going to happen yet, because we have to wait and see how the atmosphere recovers from the Tuesday morning storms. If it doesn't recover a whole lot, then we won't have to worry about more severe storms Tuesday afternoon. But it's still something we got to keep an eye on, okay? All right, let's go through the comments because we got a lot of people chiming in tonight. Let's see. Amanda, thanks for the updates, of course. Good evening from Bardstown. Hope y'all are doing well. Happy Easter. That's what we're here for, to keep you safe and keep you informed. Taylor's asking about a tornado outbreak potential. I do not see it. No. Having said that, there could be tornadoes, both Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, and if it plays out Tuesday afternoon. This is not going to be a monster outbreak. Obviously, we're a few days away from the 50th anniversary of 74. It will absolutely, not even close, be like 74. Take comfort in that. But there could be a few tornadoes, so we still got to pay attention, right? Good question, Taylor. Shelby, what's happening Tuesday? It's going to be a line of storms on Tuesday. In the morning first, and then we'll have to see what happens by the afternoon. Sherry's asking, how's it look for Orleans tomorrow? I'm going to show you on Futurecast here in just a second. Brooke has a really bad feeling about Monday and Tuesday. And look, well, that's understandable, Brooke. I get it. We're a little concerned too. But as long as you know what to do, as long as you know what you can expect, you'll be fine. We'll be good. Trust me. Derek says, will there be some wind damage? There could be, especially with that Tuesday morning round. The Tuesday potential for severe storms, Thomas is asking. I'm going to show you that here in a second, because if you made me pick, okay, Monday, Tuesday, which day has the better chance for severe storms? Well, both of them do, so I don't want you to let your guard down on the other one, but I would say Tuesday has the more widespread severe weather potential. Tuesday, or Monday rather, is going to be a little more isolated, but both days could still be rough. Let's see. Tammy says, good afternoon here in Marion County. Hope things are well down towards the central part of Kentucky. Amy says, hey, from Seymour. 1 week away from the big show in Seymour and across southern Indiana, right, with the eclipse. And we'll touch on that quickly later on before we wrap things up tonight. Tammy says, I hate night storms. I can't stand them either. Oh, goodness. Never fun. Never fun. Shonda says, anybody that lived in Louisville in 74 has tornado. I get it. I totally get it. My mom saw the 74 tornado. Like, it was half mile away, if that. If she was in Audubon Park right as it was starting. So I've heard all the stories. Katie says, I can handle storms, but these night storms are getting to be too much. Yeah, it always seems like, especially this season, the night storms have been the issue, right? Well, that could be the case again with this second round Tuesday morning. Man, oh man, we got a ton of comments tonight. I'll get back to them. I don't want to bore you all going through all of the comments because we got some important info to get to. So, at least 2 rounds of severe storms with this. One Monday afternoon, one Tuesday morning for sure. And there could be a third round Tuesday afternoon, but that's not set in stone just yet. All right, let's break down those threats one by one before we show you the maps, okay? The main issue above all else is going to be damaging wind. Straight winds, not tornado wind. The main issue is straight winds. 60, 70 mile per hour gust, especially with the Tuesday round, because that's the line of storms that's going to be rolling through, right? Damaging winds, main concern, number one. However, there could be tornadoes. And as far as the tornado potential, I'm a little more concerned about that for tomorrow as opposed to Tuesday. There could still be tornadoes on Tuesday morning as well, but I'm a little more concerned about tomorrow's round for the spinny stuff. Okay? Hail. I swear, it seems like every storm we've had the last night or so has had at least some hail with it. Peas or marbles, depending on where you are, but we'll have that chance for some larger hail with this go round, especially tomorrow. And like we mentioned, the flooding risk, it is low, but it is there. In fact, there's parts of wave country under a flood watch. I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. Okay. Before we really dive deep into it, I want to mention Tuesday in particular. I think it was Thomas that asked me, which day is worse. If I had to pick one, I'd say Tuesday. Here's the reason why. We've got an enhanced risk in that dark orange color that really covers a good chunk of wave country. Virtually all of our Kentucky counties, plus Harrison, Floyd, Clark, Scott, and Jefferson in Indiana. We get enhanced risk around here 4 or 5 times a year, maybe. I'm more used to these being last working in Huntsville, Alabama, but you need to pay attention to this, okay? Especially Tuesday morning. And the main issue with Tuesday is going to be that wind. And the reason we have this enhanced risk on Tuesday as opposed to Monday is because the chance for more widespread damaging winds is with us with this round on Tuesday, okay? So I wanted to just I'm trying to do my best to separate each round as we go through this forecast, because if you're not careful as a meteorologist on TV, we can give you guys all this information and it all is mush because it's all together. And quite honestly, for my sake, I got to separate things too, so that we can just kind of go through things one by one in these tricky setups like this. All right. So the greater risk for severe weather area wide is Tuesday, but there will be severe storms tomorrow as well. All right, let's go to the 10-day. Doesn't the 10-day look cool? Shout out to Ryan Hoke. Man, he was working on this for months, even before I got here. Unbelievable stuff. All right, we'll start with Monday. There's the severe risk for Monday. And you notice, let me take it full for a second so you can see it better. You notice that the risk is a step lower, technically, on Monday. It is a slight risk in yellow for mainly areas north of the Kentucky parkways. So north of the Western Kentucky, north of the Bluegrass Parkway. So Bardstown, Etown, Litchfield, north. That's the main zone we're watching for tomorrow. It is not going to be as widespread of a severe threat tomorrow as what we could see on Tuesday. Whoops, hang on. There we go. Not as widespread tomorrow as what we'll see on Tuesday. However, the storms we're dealing with on Monday will be supercells. not lines of storms. So that's why the coverage is going to be less tomorrow. But as we all know around here, those supercells can cause some trouble. That's why the tornado threat's a little higher tomorrow. All right, let's go through Futurecast. You're heading out early tomorrow morning. Maybe you still got to work. I know a lot of kiddos are out for spring break this week. Thank goodness with these severe storms rolling through. There could be a few showers as you're heading out early. And we'll just kind of keep these light showers around through most of the day. But what we'll be watching through the afternoon, look at the top of Futurecast here, okay? See those? That's not good, folks. I don't like that. Those are supercells firing right along the warm front. Remember that front that's moving north tonight up towards Indy? It's going to stall out near Indy tonight. And right along it, this particular model and numerous others are trying to pinpoint some supercells developing. Should these supercells develop, we will have a tornado concern tomorrow afternoon in southern Indiana and for our Kentucky friends along I-64. That's why that slight risk is in that general zone. Now, watch what happens as the day goes on. This is around 5 o'clock Monday. And again, don't take these exact timestamps as gospel, okay? We could see severe storms as early as 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But as the evening goes on, see how those storms try to jog to the south and east? That's where our tornado potential comes into play, okay? How far south these supercells go depends on how far south the warm front goes, how far south it wants to come back. Obviously, if it comes back further south, the tornado threat's higher. If it stays a little closer to Indy and Cincinnati, that may lessen the tornado threat slightly, but we're not even going to let our guard down on that, okay? So this is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. There's 8 o'clock. Notice how the threat is north of I-64. If you're down in E-Town, Litchfield, Bardstown even, Munfordville, Campbellsville, Lebanon, Greensburg, you really aren't as concerned with this Monday storm setup, okay? Your main show is Tuesdays, but if you live down near the parkways, points south, you really don't have to worry about tomorrow too terribly much. Still pay attention, but the greater threat will be to your north tomorrow. So that's 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then by 11 o'clock, we're done with the first round as those supercells and what's left of them go to the east and southeast out towards Lexington and the mountains. Okay. And then you notice we get a little bit of a lull around midnight tomorrow night. So that's round one. Okay. Let me show you the severe risk again here. And we'll take some questions, all right? Because I know you got a lot. Okay. Let's see. Luis is in Henryville. Quite the storm this morning. Yeah, I bet. Cheryl says hello from Mount Eden. Ethan said heavy rain stayed north of Port Royal, stayed south this morning. Yeah, these storms have been very, very spotty. Very spotty in nature. Jessica saying, is this some sort of April Fool's joke? Oh, if only. If only. Although I don't know if I'd want to joke about these kind of severe storms anyway. But yeah, the weather information you hear tomorrow on April 1st, on April Fool's Day, will not be a joke. It will be real. Sorry. We wish it was a joke, but yeah. Sorry, guys. Is this setup anything like the December setup? Mia's asking. I would assume you're referring to... because there's a couple of December setups in my head. One is the one we had a few months ago, and then, of course, back in 2021. If you're asking about, is this like 2021? No, not at all. And we can be thankful for that. Tricia says, how will Louisville be around 1 a.m. tonight? Just fine. No issues at all. Maybe a random little shower, but even then, that chance looks low until tomorrow morning. Martha, still PTSD from April 3rd. I get it. I get it. Jessica, yeah, overnight storms, they are not fun at all. Bryce asking, does Tuesday look more hazardous? We've kind of talked about it already. There's a better chance for those severe storms Tuesday to be more widespread. So the risk you're looking at for Monday, that's pretty spotty. Looks more isolated. but they could still be significant depending on how it plays out. Temperatures for Tuesday. Good question. Right around 70. So remember, the cold front is slow moving on Tuesday. So we're still going to warm things up nicely even after those storms move through Tuesday morning. But that also means that if that cold front is still a slow mover, that potential exists for a third round of storms Tuesday afternoon. Again, like we mentioned off the top of the show tonight, it's not set in stone that we'll see more storms Tuesday afternoon, but we still got to watch it. Leah says, will we see an upgrade on Tuesday? You know, I don't like to guess what the SPC is going to do because that's not my thing. That's their job, and they do a darn good job out in Oklahoma. But my gut says not at this point. But even then, you know, an enhanced risk doesn't happen a lot around here, so you really got to pay attention to Tuesday while also keeping an eye and paying close attention to tomorrow as well. Let's see here. Rush hour tomorrow impacts. Tomorrow morning, spotty showers, nothing severe. Tomorrow evening, severe threat north of Louisville, based on the latest guidance we've seen tonight. So most of us should get home from work tomorrow evening without an issue. Brandon says, hey, Carson, can one of these storms weaken tomorrow or Tuesday? Well, I don't think they're going to necessarily weaken, but there is a bust potential with this Monday setup in particular. Let me go back to Futurecast here. So a couple things could work in our favor. One, if we have a lot of rain Monday morning, that would be a huge help. Huge. But the main bust potential for Monday is if that warm front stays up near Indianapolis, because if it does, that would keep the severe threat tomorrow mainly north of us. I don't expect that to happen, though. I think that front's going to sag back south, and we'll have those supercells potentially across southern Indiana tomorrow. So, Brandon, to answer your question, hopefully we can get a bust out of this, but we're not even going to entertain it because we still need to be ready just in case, right? Yellow alert days, lower impact. Red alert days, higher impact. In general, I mean, both alert days are impactful, but I like to think of yellow alert days as more nuisance, while red alert days like this are like, hey, you really got to pay attention. You don't pay attention on yellow days, you really need to pay attention here. All right, let's keep going, shall we? So we talked about Monday. Supercells fire off in central Indiana, move into southern Indiana through the afternoon, and move out as we get towards 11 o'clock Monday night. On to Tuesday. So we still have that break until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And this is going to be a mess, just as far as impacts are concerned for the Tuesday morning commute, but also for us meteorologists to analyze as these storms are ripping through. Warm front will still be near us Tuesday morning. So you got very heavy rain with a few embedded severe storms firing off around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Tuesday morning in southern Indiana. But the main focus with this Tuesday round is going to be the cold front, or the approaching cold front near sunrise. And ahead of that front, look at this mess in Kentucky. That is just a giant glob of heavy rain and strong to severe storms. So any of these storms that you see in Fort Knox, Hardinsburg, Litchfield, Mumfordville could be severe. Main issue would be damaging wind gust. But you guys know, if you've been around here long enough, you get these clusters of storms, they're going to have some spin with them. And there's a lot of wind energy with this system. So we could have some embedded spin up tornadoes. Are they going to be these huge, gigantic tornadoes? No. But there'll be these little, I like to call them whack-a-mole tornadoes, where they touch down for 5 seconds, maybe a minute, and then they go up, and they go back down, they go back up, go back down. That's going to be the story with the tornado potential Tuesday morning. But the damaging wind potential is higher Tuesday morning. It's going to be more widespread. And will shift from Indiana being the main zone on Monday to Kentucky being the main zone on Tuesday. But everybody still needs to pay attention. I'm just kind of trying to narrow down as best as I can the main areas that we'll be watching over the next 48 hours. So note the time too. Oh man, this is guys, you got to have some extra time getting to work Tuesday. 5 a.m. This stuff's rolling through. Even if it's not severe and it's just loud and heavy storms, it's still going to be a messy morning drive. Plan accordingly. Let's keep going. 8 a.m. morning storms gone. I said 9 a.m. for the end of the second round just to give us a little buffer. But we'll be quieting things down just after the morning commute on Tuesday. But you still see lingering showers and lingering storms heading into midday. So it's not one of those deals where once the storms rip through, we're good to go. We're going to dry things out, all that. Not this time, okay? Because the cold front is still out to the west. Tuesday morning, Tuesday midday, which is why we have to watch the afternoon. Here's the deal. If the atmosphere can recharge itself, if it can recover, if it can get more fuel back in it after the morning storms, we will have a third round of storms, which could be strong to severe Tuesday afternoon. That is not set in stone. But you notice on the latest guidance, another cluster of heavy rain with damaging wind gusts, possibly a few spin-ups as that cold front finally begins to march into wave country Tuesday afternoon. So I'm not ready to give a specific time frame on a third round of storms just yet. We'll likely defer to later forecast shifts. Tawana tomorrow morning, Brian and Ryan and Kevin tomorrow afternoon to decide on more specifics on a potential third round of storms. But once that round gets out of here, we'll finally quiet down Tuesday night. Now let's turn to the rain. That's the back marker threat. I don't like saying it that way, but it's the one we're not quite as concerned about over the next couple of days. But you notice there will be decent amounts of rain over the next couple of days, especially in southern Indiana, where that front is stalled out. Look at this forecast. 2-3 inches maybe for Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon. That could definitely cause some flooding issues. Elsewhere, it's going to depend a lot on how many heavy storms you see and how long those heavy storms stay where you are. In general, I'm just going to say around 1 inch of rain across the board. There will be isolated areas, though, that see up to 2, maybe 3 inches of rain, especially north of Louisville, like we talked about, up in Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon, but also to the east towards I-75 between Cincinnati and Lexington. That also could be a focus for some flooding issues. So for that reason, you got to look real close, but the Weather Service office here in Louisville has issued a flood watch for our far northeastern counties. So Jefferson, Indiana, Trimble, Henry, Franklin, and Carroll. All of you guys are under a flood watch from 8 o'clock tomorrow night to 8 o'clock Tuesday night. So that's the main issue, or that's the main area of concern for the flooding issue, in addition to Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings County. Good soaking rain out of this, but in some spots, it might be a little bit too much. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to pop back up Futurecast here while we go through the questions, because we got a lot of people still wanting those questions answered. But that is a good thing. That's why we're here. Stephanie says, rain all over on Tuesday. Was planning a trip to the zoo. Man, Stephanie, that's tough. I don't want to be the guy that says don't go to the zoo, because the zoo's fun. Even once the severe storms move out Tuesday morning, there's still going to be some rain around all day. Take that as you will, Stephanie. That's a good question. Let's see. Christina says her mom saw the tornado that hit Xenia back in 74, Xenia, Ohio. Oh, yeah. Can't forget about that one. Yeah. DJ says, I'll take snow over severe storms. Well, DJ, you might get your wish. There could be a few snowflakes Wednesday night, if you can believe that. Smitty on Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called. Will I get my golf round in tomorrow morning? If you're okay with playing with a few rain showers around, yeah, you should be fine. Not worried about the severe threat until tomorrow afternoon. Donnie's talking about the significant tornado parameters. Yeah, it's a little concerning, but we don't want to alarm anybody, right? Jessica says, when will this system move out? We all want to know that, don't we? Tuesday night, at least the severe threat. Wednesday, there will still be a few showers around, and it could be cold enough Wednesday night. There's still some moisture for a few snowflakes. No accumulations, no impacts at all. Brooke, you'll have to remind me what you got a question on. I've got so many comments I'm trying to roll through here. So let me know what more specific question you have, and we'll get it answered. What's the risk for an EF2 or higher? It's there. It is there. I don't think it's high, but we could see maybe 1 or 2 strong tornadoes, mainly with the Monday setup with the supercells. That's when you have the better or the greater concern for those stronger tornadoes. Let's see here. Daughter's driving back to IU tomorrow from Corydon. What time should she avoid being on the road? As long as she's back to IU before 3 o'clock, good to go. Spotty showers before 3 o'clock, but past 3 is when that severe weather window looks like it'll open up. Hope that takes care of that for you, and safe travels to your daughter back to IU tomorrow. Jason, hi Carson, happy Easter. Same to you. Seems storms have ramped up over the years, always strong to severe. Why? Well, that's a good question, Jason. I'm not necessarily sure if they've ramped up necessarily. Maybe they've become a little more frequent in the last few years. So it makes it just kind of feel like they've ramped up more. It's a good question. I'd have to probably do a little more behind the scenes research on that, but that is an interesting point. Melissa, should we be concerned in Mount Washington? I wouldn't say concerned. Still go about your day, Monday and Tuesday, but pay attention, especially to that Tuesday setup. Like we mentioned, greater threat Monday is in Indiana, greater threat Tuesday is in Kentucky. But everybody, whether you live in Indiana or Kentucky, you can still see a few strong to severe storms both days. There you see around 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, Kentucky, Mount Washington. Melissa could see some of those stronger storms. What time Tuesday will the front move through all the way? It'll be later in the evening, Ashley, and that's why we got to watch for that potential third round in the afternoon. It's not set in stone that we see round 3. Hopefully we don't, but we still need to pay attention. May says schools are back in session tomorrow in Hanover. Yeah, I didn't realize that Indiana schools, or a lot of Indiana schools, had spring break this past week. Of course, a lot of the Kentucky schools have it this week. Everybody better get some good sleep tonight, Sean just says. Yeah, it could be a loud night tomorrow night. So that's probably a good idea. How worried should Bardstown be, Sean asked, for the Tuesday round? The main issue in Bardstown is going to be damaging straight line winds, possibly a spin-up tornado. You see that's around 3 to 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. Not everybody's going to see damage or severe storms, but those of you that do, it could potentially be significant. That's why we're watching it. 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Tuesday morning. Yes, Heather. Yep, you got it. Danny says, warm front storms get sneaky strong. Boy, don't they ever. I was saying this last night to somebody. I can't remember who. Forgive me. I haven't had much sleep this weekend. Warm front storms are so dang sneaky. You get a little bit of lift on that warm front. If it sets off those little showers, it can blow up into pretty good storms. That's kind of what we saw last night, actually. Good point, Danny. What about Greene County tonight and tomorrow and Tuesday? Okay, Greene County, you're good tonight. You can rest easy tonight. And for tomorrow, probably in good shape in Greene County. Let me go to the Futurecast for Monday in particular. Greene County, the main issue is Tuesday. But you notice Monday afternoon, the better storm chances are in Indiana. You're going to have a few showers around in Greene County tomorrow, but most of the severe storms stay to your north, mainly along and north of I-64 on Monday. Hope that answers your question, Doug. Sammy says, should we just spend the night in the basement tomorrow night? You know what? If you've got a basement, then you can just sleep in and rest easy. I think that's a great idea tomorrow night. You know, not everybody's going to see tornadoes out of this. But you know what? If you do, and your wave weather app goes off, says, hey, there's a tornado warning for your location, all you got to do is just get out of your bed in the basement and go to your safe spot right there. Boom, 10 seconds. So yeah, Sammy, that's a great idea. I would definitely encourage that for everybody. Let's see. KY Jets fan on YouTube. Any word on Shelbyville? Shelbyville could see a few stronger storms tomorrow evening as these supercells kind of shift to the south, but the main issue for Shelbyville will be Tuesday morning. 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday in Indiana. Yes, there is a concern. Yep. Now, will it be as big of a concern as what we'll see Monday? Likely not. But there will be still a few stronger storms around in southern Indiana Tuesday morning. Thanks to Bailey for that question. So what is the tornado risk tomorrow morning? Sierra asks. There is no tornado risk tomorrow morning in Madison, Indiana. Tuesday morning, there could be a severe risk. Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning, tornado risk. Hope that answers your question, Sierra. Bardstown, not really light up on the map. I guess maybe the map is a little fuzzy. Sorry about that. We'll work on it. Man, so many questions tonight, guys. It's awesome. Love it. Keep them coming. What does it look like for Corydon tomorrow? Linda asks. Corydon, you see the stronger storms tomorrow afternoon. Then again, Tuesday morning. If you live along I-64, you could actually see effects from both waves of storms. All right. So that includes Corydon, the Knobs, here in the metro too. Maybe out towards Shelbyville as well. 1974 was the worst tornadoes in Louisville. Yeah, it's up there. That is for sure. Courtney's saying, is Louisville clear? I would not say clear, Courtney. Like I mentioned, if you live along 64, actually, it's quite the opposite. You could see both rounds of storms. So you get towards Monday afternoon and Monday evening, those storms will be sliding south. They could make it to the city. Then we get a break. And then the Tuesday morning round moves in kind of in that same general area, mainly in Kentucky, but clipping the city of Louisville as well. So kind of a 1-2 punch. 7 a.m. in LaGrange, Amber asked for tomorrow, or I would assume tomorrow. Tomorrow morning's fine. Tuesday morning, heavy rain, potential for damaging wind gust, maybe a spin-up tornado. Let's see. Chris asking about Southern Indiana again. Sure. Let me open it back up here. There's a severe risk for Monday. Monday, not Tuesday, Monday. Slight risk in yellow. That's a level 2 on our 1 to 5 scale. And here, let me take it full for a second so you can see it better. There you go. Supercells dive in from the south during the evening between 3 and 11 o'clock, giving us a tornado potential, damaging wind gusts possibly. Those supercells continue into Monday evening before we eventually get out of here Monday night with that first wave. And then, of course, the second wave moves in soon thereafter, Carissa, but hopefully that answered your question. Glasgow, Sandy asked about Tuesday morning. Damaging wind gusts, spin up tornadoes, very heavy rain. 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. Let's see here. School question, Tuesday morning, Jefferson County, Indiana. Obviously, we don't make school calls. We don't want any business in that. Of course, it's so different now because we got that NTI or whatever it's called. I would have been lost if I had to do NTI. We'll see what happens with schools. It's truly just going to depend on the timing of that second round Tuesday morning. If schools want to hold off, play it safe with these storms rolling through during the morning rush, we might have some delays or closures. But again, we don't make that call at all. Tornado risk for the Ohio River, areas close to it. I would say the greater tornado risk for areas along the river is tomorrow. Could there be spin-up tornadoes Tuesday? Yes. But I think the greater concern for the Ohio River for tornadoes would be Monday with some of those supercells like we've talked about through this evening. Let's see. Michelle's asking about Paoli. Yeah, we haven't talked about Paoli tonight. So you guys in Paoli, you could see those supercells tomorrow afternoon. That would mean a tornado potential, damaging wind. We'll get those out of here tomorrow night around 10 or 11 o'clock. And then we could see additional strong to severe storms Tuesday morning. Okay. Let's see. All right. Cam says, round 2 incoming, it seems. Tornado just missed my house by a quarter mile on March 14th. Wow. Cam, I'm glad you're doing good. It's hard to believe that was 2 weeks ago. And here we go again. Shelby, so concerned mainly in southern Indiana tomorrow, mainly central Kentucky Tuesday. Yes. However, both areas can still see storms on both days. All right. It's just tomorrow we're likely going to be looking more at Indiana, and Tuesday we'll likely be looking more at Kentucky. But everybody can still see storms both days. All right. So I think we're in good shape with the questions. Bethany says she'll be in Cincinnati tomorrow, heading back to Louisville about 6 o'clock. Could it be bad? Potentially. And I say potentially because if these supercells in Indiana start to sag south a little bit quicker than forecast, that could put them in the metro or close to it, or at least along that 71 corridor earlier in the evening. So, Bethany, if you can, try to get home a little earlier, maybe an hour or two. I'm sure you're trying to figure out your plans for when you can get home, but if possible, maybe come home around 4 or 5. If not, just keep an eye on the skies, have that wave weather app handy in case there's any warnings as you're driving down 71 so you can get off the road. Good question. Speaking of Cincinnati again, Kelly planning a day trip tomorrow. Yeah, there's no issues tomorrow morning. But again, if you're coming back to Louisville from Cincy tomorrow evening, the earlier, the better. Here's a Hardinsburg question for Monday. Brandon's asking. So Hardinsburg likely will not see much tomorrow as far as the severe threat. That'll be north of you guys in Breckinridge County. Could you still see a stronger storm tomorrow night? Yeah, maybe. But the greater threat with the first round is going to be just to your north in southern Indiana. Frank says, thanks for all you and the team do. You're very welcome. That's our job, Frank. We love what we do. We love serving our hometown, our home area. 4 out of 5 of us are from here, and Tawana's the one that grew up in Florida, but she's adopted she's an adopted Louisvillian. So we love being here. We love working here at home, and we love taking care of you guys. So that's where we stand at this point, gang. I don't want to bore you all too much, but this is going to be a busy couple of days. We'll get through it just fine. But just make sure you have that wave weather app handy. No, I'm not trying to sound like a promotional plug. I promise you, really, we update the forecast on it at least a half dozen times a day. And it's our forecast. It's not some random computer. and we post forecast videos on it. You can see the hourly forecast, the 10-day, and you can also check radar. So as these storms are rolling through the next couple of days, you can see where they are now and where they'll be heading if they'll impact you. So download that app. It is totally free. Totally free. A couple more questions here. Cassie's asking about Hodgenville. Yeah, Hodgenville, the main issue will be Tuesday. Okay. Tuesday morning. So let me draw whereabouts Hodgenville is. Right there. There's LaRue County. A little yellow circle or whatever I just drew. So the storms roll through around sunrise. 3, 4, 5 o'clock Tuesday morning. They'll continue into the early morning. Heavy rain, damaging winds, maybe a few tornadoes, a few spin-ups. And then it'll be on again, off again, showers and storms the rest of the day. And we'll have to watch for a potential third round of storms Tuesday afternoon. Let's see. Debbie, hello from Seymour, Scottsburg. Main storm concern there will be Monday afternoon. Weather Geek says, remind those traveling that you can. Yes, you can. You can set the Wave Weather app to follow you. Yes, you can. So let me, in fact, I'll pull up the app right now. You won't be able to see it through this camera, but if you go to the top, it says locations, and the first option is follow me. So if you allow our app to see your GPS location, it'll give you forecast updates for wherever you're going. We do not use your location info, okay? We don't. It's not our business, okay? But you do the follow me setting, you can get that forecast info anywhere, anytime, wherever you might be in this great country of ours. Let's see. Braden, Wave Weather now will be up on the TV. Oh, yeah. Yep. Has a new look, by the way, as pretty much everything does here at Wave. So check it out. And I'm sure we'll be doing more videos like this throughout the day tomorrow. Brian will have his Storm Talk blog probably around 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be here constantly, guys. We will watch all of this second by second as it goes through. It is going to be a mess, but we'll get through it just fine. Yvonne's asking, above Bedford Monday, below Bedford Tuesday. Are we seeing that right? I wouldn't say, above and below. In fact, I'd say Bedford could actually, you guys could be in that sweet spot, Yvonne, where you see both rounds of storms. So that's why I've tried to go one by one with this setup, because there's so many different rounds and the timing and the locations are all over the place. So I don't want anybody to think they're totally clear from one round or the other. It's just that on Monday, it'll be Southern Indiana and our Kentucky friends along the Ohio River. And then Tuesday, it will be more so down in central Kentucky. But everybody could still that is, see strong to severe storms, both Monday and Tuesday. Let's see. Can we show the worst part? Cassie asked for Hardin and LaRue County. Sure. Bear with me. I know I keep going back and forth here, but let's see. All right. There's 5 a.m. Tuesday morning, Cassie. Let me circle Hardin and LaRue. There we go. So you see the heavy rain and storms moving in around, let's just say as early as 3 a.m. Tuesday. And continuing through the morning. And even once the severe threat's done, there's still going to be lingering showers and storms. And then we may have that potential third round of storms later in the afternoon. And again, I'm not going to go into specific details on this potential third round just yet, because it's not a guarantee it happens. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see how the atmosphere recovers from that second round Tuesday morning. If it recovers, we'll have problems. if it doesn't and we stay cloudy and kind of on the cool side all day, we should be okay. So we're just going to have to wait on that and see how it plays out. By the way, and I'm winding down, guys, I promise. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Let me go back to the live radar. We talked a little while ago about that small downpour chance tonight. There's a whole lot of nothing, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. There's one little shower in Trimble County up towards Bedford and Milton, but that is about it. So it looks like we have, well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I would jinx it, but we're looking good right now for this evening. And the better storm chances for tonight are up towards Indianapolis anyway. So go back to the 10-day. You can look at that while we continue to answer some questions. Thanks for sending these questions, guys, making my job easy tonight. Ann, thanks. You answered my question. Glad to help, Ann. Cassie says, thanks. You're welcome. Sierra says, which one do we pay attention to, radar or hourly on the Wave Weather app? Can it be both? So on the hourly part of the app, that is your hourly forecast for where you are through the next at least 2 days. Sometimes it's 3 days. It depends on, honestly, what the computer and the app is doing. But we here in the weather team update that hourly forecast for the next 2 days. So the next 48 hours. So you can get on the app right now. You can see the latest forecast I put in earlier this evening for your spot. As far as the radar, I would use that as these storms are rolling through over the next couple of days. Tornado is going to be a big threat with that potential third round Tuesday afternoon, possibly. Will they be strong tornadoes? No. They would be the spin-up variety. If we do have a strong tornado potential with all of this, strong tornado is EF2 or higher, like Brandon mentions, that potential would be at its highest Monday afternoon for areas along and north of I-64. So Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon, Madison, Scottsburg, Salem, Paoli, Corydon, English, Louisville, LaGrange, Bedford, Milton, Carrollton. If you live anywhere near one of those towns, we got to keep an eye on a tornado potential Monday afternoon, and that's where the greatest threat would be for a stronger tornado if it comes to fruition. And there's been so many questions, I can't remember who asked. I'm sorry, but this is not going to be a tornado outbreak. Okay? It's not. Some of you may just see a ton of rain over the next 2 days. And that's it. But there will be some severe storms, and they could potentially be significant. Yes, Shonda, great point. When you use the radar on our app, make sure in the bottom right corner, it says past. Make sure it does not say future or it does not say past plus future, because just don't do it. Keep it on past. That will allow you to see what is happening in real time and also let you loop the radar back over the last, I think it's an hour, something like that. Make sure your app radar is set to past. Thank you, Shonda. Great reminder. Cam says Tuesday morning storm timing for Madison, leaving for North Carolina. Which, by the way, how about NC State going to the Final Four? Madison, Indiana, storms Tuesday morning. Let's say about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 to 9 for Madison. Let's see. Laura asking, should Whitney, I guess Whitney's one of your friends, Laura, should they stay at your house Monday night in North Vernon? So, excuse me, if Whitney does not have a good storm shelter, I think it would be a good idea to stay at your place, at your house, Laura, so long as you have a good shelter, which I'm sure you do. Definitely a good idea if you don't have a reliable storm shelter through this mess, call up somebody, say, hey, listen, I'm a little concerned about these storms. Can I just stay at your place so I can get to a shelter? Go ahead and do that. Sleep in the basement like we were talking about earlier. That's a good idea for tomorrow night as well. Okay, everybody good? I know it's been a lot of questions. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. But this is a very tricky setup to talk about. It's a tricky setup to forecast. And I just wanted to take my time tonight and explain everything bit by bit because it's going to be a lot of moving parts. Before we go, let's talk about Wednesday, no matter how much I don't want to. Once this cold front moves through Tuesday night, it is going to get cold, real cold. We're talking highs in the 40s Wednesday. That's it. Winter wants one last gasp. Now, as the cold front moves through, we get some moisture wrapping around. Let's imagine the low pressure with this system is right around here. Here comes moisture wrapping around the back side of it, and we'll have on-again, off-again showers pretty much all day Wednesday. Is it a washout? No. Is it going to be dreary? Yes. Keep that in mind if you're heading to any memorial services or ceremonies for the tornado anniversary Wednesday. There will be showers through the day. And as those temperatures drop Wednesday night, you see that overnight low of 35. Some raindrops could turn to snowflakes. Because of course they would. It's the Ohio Valley. So that's just something we'll keep an eye on for Wednesday. And the second half of the week looks great. Next weekend looks awesome. Looks so great. 60 Saturday, 66 Sunday. Oh yeah, we got that eclipse thing. I'm kidding. We got the Great American Eclipse, of course, on Monday. Still a little concerned about cloud cover. There's going to be a decent bit of cloud cover. Hopefully it's broken. It's not full overcast. We can still get a good view of that totality around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But there's still also the chance for a couple of showers as well. Models are picking up on some sort of a system, mainly to our west around the eclipse time. But some of those showers may try to sneak in on Monday of next week. We'll watch it. 8 days away. A lot's still going to change as we get closer to the big day next Monday. Already, hard to believe. But we got to get through the next couple of days first. So take the time now to make sure your severe weather plan is ready to go. We've had a couple rounds of severe weather already this season. So just make sure your plan is still up to date. Make sure everybody still knows that plan. Download the Wave Weather app. We're going to update it constantly. In fact, here in about a half hour, I'm going to send another update on the app that every single one of you will get. So download the app. Stay close to the forecast. Stay close to us here on Wave Weather Now, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all the digital platforms that we have here at Wave. We'll get through this just fine. We always do. And just keep an eye on the skies. It's going to be a rough couple of days. Wednesday won't be great either, but just look at that light at the end of the tunnel as we get towards this upcoming weekend. We will have an updated look at your forecast again coming up here in 2.5 hours on Wave News at 11 on the TV side of things. Tawana will be here tomorrow morning. Brian Good will be back here in the Wave Now studios for Storm Talk around 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll see how all of this plays out. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. And we will see you again on the television side of things coming up tonight at 11. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for all the questions. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your Easter holiday. And we'll talk soon. Good night.